Hey, I'm Grant, and welcome to the Grantlanta Lawn team. Over the course of the video, we will go over everything you might encounter on the job, before the job, after the job. We'll go over all the mowing maintenance ideas and structure and equipment and maintenance on the yard and on the equipment. It's a whole slew of stuff. Stay tuned. We're gonna get this ball rolling right now.
Oh, hey, you must be Grant. I appreciate you coming out on time. It's been real hard to get other folks to even show up. So, I'm just looking for an estimate on some lawn maintenance. I also got this area over here that's a little bit of a mess. So, I don't know. You kind of walk me through your process and let me know what we need to do to move forward.
All right, thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to come out. I really appreciate your time. We value your opinion and your time and all that. So, but I understand there's this yard and this yard. You know, obviously this has been well maintained. You can see that it's actually had some chemical treatment, so there's not a lot of weeds in this one. But if you look over here, it's a little bit more work. And you know, when we're going up to properties, we want to give you the fair price, and something like this costs a little bit more because we need to get it in the initial ship shape. So a little initial cleanup is what we'll have to start with, which usually ends up being a little bit more money, but after that initial cleanup we can get back on a regular price that won't fluctuate over the course of our maintenance with you.
Well, Grant, all that sounds amazing, and I'd love to hire y'all, but how often would y'all come out to mow the lawn?
So I think we should come out every 2 weeks. Bi-weekly is the most popular plan. Spring and summer, mow, edge, blow. We'll do everything we can to just keep the yard in ship shape. You know, maybe spray along the curb, put some weeds. We got some weeds in these rocks. We can take care of that. That's a little bit more full service, so maybe that price will be a little different than just your regular mow and go. But in the fall and winter, we'll want to take care of all these leaves. Obviously, Atlanta is surrounded with leaves, and you do not want those leaves just to sit around. It'll get real nasty, and you just want to get rid of those. Mosquitoes will thrive in there. It's something you want to stick on. So we recommend the annual plan. So just bi-weekly year round, and we got you covered on that.
And what about the grass clippings? Y'all bag them up, or y'all just leave them on the lawn, or how does that work? And then the leaves in the fall, I mean, we get a lot of leaves. So are y'all gonna bag them and put them at the street, or I don't know. I've never really hired a lawn guy before.
Great question. So I personally don't like to use a bag, but if you prefer this, we can adjust to your needs. The reason bagging isn't always necessary is because clippings are actually good for your grass. As long as you have a sharp blade, the clippings act as fertilizer in the yard, giving it a nitrogen boost. The same applies to leaves to a certain extent. The only caveat is they need to be finely mulched up, evenly distributed out so there aren't any clumps left behind. This would prevent sun from reaching grass and ultimately kill the yard. Same applies for wet grass. Wet clippings left behind could kill patches in the yard. Oh shit, I just read two lines. Oh, sorry. I'm not a landscaper. Oh God. Wet clippings left behind could kill patches of the yard. Taking a blower out and distributing them around is a fantastic solution in my opinion. Like I mentioned earlier, every yard is different, so we'd have to assess this in person to see if mulching would be a good fit for you. I prefer it over bagging also because often we need to leave the bags on the curb for the city to get, and this can result in 20 or 30 bags sitting on your curb for a couple weeks or longer. Wham! When it rains a lot, bottoms can fall out and you're left with a mess on the street, and you hate messes. There are other discreet ways of getting rid of leaves that combine mulching with bagging, but the main point is you want to continue to stay on that annual bi-weekly schedule. Once we stop mowing grass, we go straight to mowing leaves. Leaving leaves in your yard can be fine to a certain extent, but if you leave them there too long, they could shade out the grass and potentially kill it come spring. They become like a breeding ground for mosquitoes and other insects. I feel like you have another question?
Sounds great. Just a couple more questions. One, This is my prized chicken I inherited from my grandmother in Romania, and it was her great-grandmother's prized chicken, and so forth and so on. And so this chicken is very dear to our family. And I've got this bush, and I had to come out here this weekend and really hack it down so I could see my prized great-great-great-great-great-grandmother's chicken. And is that something that y'all will handle? And, you know, I've got some branches on that tree over there that are hanging over from the neighbor's yard. Is that something that y'all will do as part of your regular maintenance plan? And I think that's about it. Yeah, but other than that, oh, and then will y'all send me a contract, or how does that work? I mean, how do I pay you as well? Is it on, do you take Venmo or credit card or check?
Okay, fantastic questions. I love them all. So we got the, you know, they're bushes, we got to trim them. So yeah, we can obviously add that on either in the regular maintenance plan or maybe just like an as needed basis for just a small surcharge on top. Everything's different. So, you know, this little guy, no big deal, I'll add him in. You got these, you know, a whole yard full of bushes, obviously that's going to cost a little extra. It just, we'll work it out together like we do with everything. And I love the chicken, by the way. Fantastic job. I love your grandma did it was fantastic. So the tree though, yeah, it's this is something that we cannot, you know, obviously it's something not in our wheelhouse. However, I've teamed up with some local companies that we can recommend. That goes from tree trimming to tree removal to gutters, gutter cleaning, gutter installing, pressure washing. You know, you name it, we can kind of point you in the right direction. I even have made this little group called the Southern Schmooze that goes even farther. You can ask for all your recommendations on there. And then the payment thing is really easy. It's all online, safe, secure. We'll have our office administrator just send you an invoice after the job's completed. Everyone's happy, everyone likes what happened, and then you could just pay on there. Occasionally we do accept Venmo or any of those app payments on a one-time basis. It's just easier to have everything in this one area. And there's also something called auto pay, which is super convenient. If you're a reoccurring customer, all you have to do is click a button, and after the yard's done, your card gets charged. You don't have to be bothered. You get an email invoice letting you know that we came by. Pretty straightforward, really simple stuff. I can't wait for more of your questions.
Wow, Grant, thanks for answering all my questions. I got a little project in the backyard I wanted you to take a look at. I know it's not part of the regular maintenance service, but I wanted to see if it's in your wheelhouse. Also, real quick, I got a vicious dog. His name's Chomper. He's about 260 pounds. So you got to make sure you call me before you come. And please, 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 make sure you lock the gate when you're leaving the backyard, because if Chomper gets out, Chomper gonna chomp.
Yeah, projects, bigger projects, this is all in our wheelhouse. We can, some of the guys on the team are more specialized. This is actually a project they did. I call it Banana Tree Island. I didn't do it. I hired them, and they did a fantastic job. I think we used some slate chip. They built these cool little walls. Whatever you can think of, we can work with you and see if we can make it happen. And that goes from anything from just some hardscaping. Maybe you need some new sod or some seed. Maybe like some elephant ears. Maybe, you know what? You see this over here? You see this jungle? That's something we can tackle as well. You need this gone? Poof! We'll make it disappear. And thank you for telling me about Chomper, because if you know, he's around here somewhere. There he is. Chomper, we don't want him to get out, so thank you for letting me know, because we need to talk to you beforehand to arrange, make sure the garage is either open and the dog's inside, or the gate's open and the dog's inside. And we don't want him to get out. He's a crazy dude. And we also really appreciate if you take into mind that we are walking around. We don't like stepping on dog poop as much as you do. And so if you know when we'll be by and you don't mind doing a quick sweep, it's really appreciate that. It's some customers do, some customers don't, but the customers that don't really care about us stepping in shit is kind of a red flag, and we don't really want to work with them. So we do appreciate the extra help. Let me know some more questions. I'm loving this back and forth, tit for tat. Woohoo!
All this sounds awesome. Just one last question. you are going to bring your own equipment, right?
Oh boy, yeah, we are, for sure. We don't want to bother you at all. So what we'll come with is, we'll drive up, and some of the guys have trucks, some of the guys have cars. It's really a hodgepodge. As long as we show up when we say we are, that's what really matters. So just know that we are committed to being as on time as we can be. Speaking of which, I know I should have mentioned this earlier, but rain delays. Sometimes we always can't show up on every other Monday or every other Wednesday. So just know that we don't want to mow in the rain because we don't want to tear up your yard. We don't want to keep clumps around and stuff like that. With that said, keeping the sharp blade, very important. We like to keep our equipment sharp, tuned up. This is a particular self-propel. I really recommend self-propel, which means it just the wheels just turn for you, so you just have to guide it. I have this little carriage trailer. Some of the guys have bigger equipment, so they have bigger trailers. One thing I recommend, I like battery tools, but obviously gas-powered tools is also important. I have 2 blowers. This is great. The BR, any of the Steel brand BR 600 up is really good for the fall and winter use, blowing leaves, get the jobs done a lot quicker. This little guy is nice. As you'll see in this little cutaway right now, I'm blowing away the clippings off the driveway, and that's really helpful for small jobs like that. This little hedge trimmer, very convenient in my opinion for small little jobs like that one by the chicken. Sometimes you'll come across a bigger hedge that needs trimming, and you have a little attachment that we can add on there. So I have 2 gas cans. One is regular gas, one is 2-cycle. 2-cycle is great for the blowers, so I like to have extra there. These little loppers are nice when you're cutting down bigger limbs off trees. Once again, we don't do any of the tall trees, but we can help if we feel comfortable with the smaller limb pruning. That's not an issue. Although we're not licensed for chemical use, I can help with small things, not in the grass. We don't like to touch the grass, but anything that's popping up around here, like anything that you see in cracks or whatever, we can take care of those. Additionally, I don't like anthills, so I carry some anthill killer in case you got some of that laying around. There's really not too much else in here that's super important, but maintenance is good. Just make sure your equipment runs, you keep good care of it, and if you have any specific questions you can ask me. I'm sure I have more answers for you. Speaking of which, do you have any more questions?
Great! Just one last question.
Sorry.
What happens if I'm not happy with your service? Oh, and one other question. My nephew is looking for a job, and this sounds like a sweet weekend gig. Or maybe it could be full-time? I don't know. Anyway, I wanted to ask you. You could delete that.
No,
please.
One last question.
Oh, yeah. One last question. What was my question? Oh, yeah. One last question. How do I know it's your team on my property? Mm-hmm. Is it just gonna be some random people showing up, or do y'all have a uniform?
Mm-hmm. You're happy. So if something's wrong, let us know. We'll come back out. We'll fix it. We'll work together to figure it out. You can contact me, the office administrator, the guy helping you. You have 30 different ways to get in touch with us. So we want to make sure you're happy with it. And obviously, I remember the second question you had, which was hiring. Yes, always hiring. We have so much work coming in. It's mind-boggling. But if you're interested in a job, the only 3 things that I don't like, that I just tell everyone, and I actually don't mind it, I think of it as getting paid to exercise at the end of the day, is the heat, is mower maintenance, and the rain delays. Everything else is kind of straightforward. Like, get outside, fresh air, birds chirping, and
Cheep, 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 cheep.
And it's nice.
Cheep,
It's not
cheep,
for
cheep.
everyone. It's not for everyone, but it's definitely something I've enjoyed for the last 5 years. Wow, that was a really big bird that just flew over. Uniform, you'll know it's us. You'll see us where it's pretty straightforward, but you got the Grantlanta shirt, and I like to recommend that the guys, you know, wear closed-toed shoes. You can obviously wear pants if you like. Hat, sunglasses, safety goggles, gloves, whatever you feel comfortable with. If you see, occasionally maybe we're not in uniform, but you know, if that doesn't bother you, just let us know. We want to make sure we look professional and all that. Boy, oh boy, I wonder if there's any more questions left.
Oh, one last question. I think, well, I'm ready for a lawn cut. It's about time. But what height are you going to be cutting my grass? And also, can you make sure you do all the trimming around the beds and all the rocks and plants? Please don't weed eat my beautiful plants.
Great question. Once again, love them. Just keep them coming, although we might be running out. So every yard's different. We'll want to adjust the height every time almost, because some yards are just, you know, well maintained, some are a bit jungly. We want to adjust that height just to see what works best. So it's really simple. You just, you know, raise up and down however you see fit. I like to keep, for this yard particularly, this is a pretty good height, I believe. You don't want to cut too low. You don't want to scalp it. It'll burn it out. That's a bad thing. You definitely want to, less is more. When you're even trimming bushes the first time, less is more. You can't always bring back what you cut off, if that makes sense. So we could start small, go from there, work together with the customers, see what height, what all that works out. So yeah, start a little generous the first time, and obviously whenever you're doing the edging, you just want to make sure you go around the beds, around the rocks, around the kayak. You want to hit the driveway line. Anywhere you think is a safe area to weed whack is a good idea. And then after you're done, just take your blower out, make sure the driveway's clean, blow off the front porch. It's a nice courtesy. Adam is very, very generous. He always brings up the trash cans after he's done at the yard. It's a very nice addition. So, you know, those are the basics. And I might come back in a second because I had a thought, but we can cut for now.
One last question. My nephew just joined the team. What does he do next?
First off, welcome to the team. Full circle. I'm glad we started there. We ended here. This is really beautiful. I said, so yes, what you'll want to do first is hop on Teams. It's this app we use, and all the leads get put on there by the office administrator. You want to go in there, find something you like, location, yard size, just a whole bunch of, you know, the bunch of situations or factors that go into it. Reach out to the customer, say, hey, it's Chomper, and I'm with Grantlanta Lawn. I want to come out, and they'll say, cool, come on out. You know, y'all can meet, or you could do it over the phone. You could do it over text. There's a bunch of ways you can do it. It helps to see it in person, in my opinion. So when you get there, you know, walk the property. Especially if you do end up working out together, it's always nice to walk the property afterwards too, so you don't have to come back. Because like I said, if something's wrong, you gotta come back. So you wanna get it done right the first time, in my opinion. And after y'all agree on something, you know, you go ahead and get the yard tidied up, get on that schedule. I have this little philosophy, under 30, under 5. I prefer yards that take 30 minutes or less. It's hot out, I like to, you know, get in, get out. I think having a helper is also really important if you know, you want to knock out a lot of yards. If you only want to handle a few a week, that's fine with me. More help the better. Just like that commitment is what I'm looking for. But we can offer as many. We can offer you full time, 30, 40 yards a week, whatever you like. But under 30, under 5 minutes or less to get that next property. So you want to have your little areas, like your little Oakhurst area, your East Atlanta area. You want to get those, I can help you with the routing. We can get you in this little ball of customers in one day, so you're not going from Reynoldstown to Gresham Park to, you know, all over the map. And then every Monday I will pay you, sir. So however you like, we can pay you as long as it's on the table, because Technically, you're a independent contractor, so I have to give you a 1099 at the end of the year. It just means I'm just telling the government what I paid you, so it's pretty straightforward. But yeah, if you can mow 20 or so yards a week, I can throw you $1,000. It's no problem. And yeah, welcome to the team.
Caw-caw!